Hey everybody, Charlie and I are two here, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. When we last left off, we found out that there was a third person inside the omnibus. Let's continue this court case and see what we can find out. See if we can clear Mr. McGilded. Thank you, I've heard enough. The events as explained are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is the girl? Her name is Gina Lestrade. Lestrade or Lestrade? I'm going to say Lestrade. Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer. What is a chancer? Earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. Okay. She's a thief. Pickpocket. What's commonly called a pickpocket. Yep, got it. What? This girl here, a petty thief. I mean, yeah, I can see that. Order, order! Is this true, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question. Does she have a gun? Did she just shoot the judge with pink smoke? That's assault. Like, should be thrown under the prison. What is going on here? Arg. How dare you? What is the meaning of this? Did she just disappear? The girl, she's gone. Open your eyes. I'm over here. Oh, that's her talking. I'm guessing she's going to speak with like a thick Cockney accent. I'm not doing that either. I'm only doing the Alucard voice and the old lady voice. If you want more voice acting, which I gotta admit is very horrible and I'm not good at it, but if you do want to hear me do more voices, let me know in the comments and maybe I'll have the motivation to do more. Good gracious, how? What was the point in that little sidestep? I know what you lot are thinking. Grown-ups are all the same. This dirty little dipper, you'll see, slipped up and got caught on the job. She got herself backed into a corner, so she knifed the gent. Go on, that's what's in your heads, isn't it? No, not at all. This is a court of law. We're here to determine the truth, not cast. She just shoots smoke at everybody. I like the little coin thing you can do. Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what I do is these fingers. I'm a professional, all right? Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do. Let me guess. You don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs. Oh, this? Yeah. This was in a bag I lifted the other day. Down where they keep the four-wheeled drags. It's nice, isn't it? I like the pink best. Alright, don't wave that thing in my direction again. The third hallowed chalice. So, you admit you were riding the omnibus on the night in question. Tis alright, lass. You can tell them the truth now. Alright, yeah. It's just like the Irishman said. The court accepts this girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please. You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question. All right, if I have to. Yeah, you have to. Witness testimony. What the girl saw. All right, we can't screw this up too much more. I don't know what's going to happen if we lose all those points, but I definitely don't want to do this case from the beginning again. So we need to make sure we choose the right answers this time. What the girl saw. So I snuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses. I hate that they wrote the accent. Before they hooked up the horses, just like always. But it was right old waste of time. I got nothing to show from my troubles that night. I tell you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch black in there. Then, after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out of my skin, I did, and the screams just come out. It's because of that this swell found me. He did help me get away, mind. Call him a swell because he's like a swell fellow? Is that what that means? Yes, he let you go. I fail to understand why you would let this street urchin go, Mr. McGilded. Oh, 'tis simplicity itself, my lord. You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact, because she was underneath you. How? As I'm sure I said before, sir. I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself. I think a demonstration is called for. This is where I sat that night. And the cubbyhole of which you have spoken underneath the seat, I presume. Yes, it does appear just large enough to accommodate someone of the girl's stature. Aye, but of course the wee lass was stuck in there, because I'd parked myself on the seat for the duration. So you see, that's why I let the lass bolt. I knew that if the police found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it. But I couldn't live with myself if a young life was ruined when all the time I knew she was innocent. Even though you must have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question. Not at all, my lord, not at all. I knew in my own heart that I was innocent. So I thought, it's worth taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of this less fortunate lass. My goodness. What a perfect gentleman. My lord, this fine example of a man cannot possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this. I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sire. Are you changing your vote? With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Wait, that means they're all... Every vote is innocent. But we still need to figure out who did it. Saints alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual in their leaning to a verdict of not guilty? And let me guess, hallowed chalice is going to get thrown. Mr. Naruhodo, this... Well, it must mean... It must mean what? That we're victorious. Yeah, but we got to figure out who actually stabbed the dude. We've won? Are you sure? I think I know what happened. If the thief didn't steal it, the bricklayer guy, brick mason, thrice fired or whatever, may have tried to steal the knife from Mr. McGilded and fell or hit a bump and stabbed himself. I mean, that could have happened, right? We've won? Are you sure?
Objection!
No. Okay, I'm going to read the line, but what are you doing? Is this like, you know, a Middle Eastern thing where you're like trying to show us the bottom of your foot to like put us down? Like an insult? This is a really odd thing to do, Mr. Van Sykes. If the sight of my iron-hilled Wellington offends, pray, do forgive the discourtesy. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start doing really offensive stuff to people, and I'm just going to say, pray, do forgive the discourtesy. And then since I said it in such like a well-spoken, you know, manner, they're going to have to be like, well, you know, he said do forgive the discourtesy, so, you know, it must be fine. He only just flipped me off, but he said do to forgive the discourtesy, so it's okay. This really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in British judicial practices. Where evidence and reasoning should be paramount, emotion rules the day. Emotion? The witness's latest statement gives us clear insight into his true nature. What do you mean, his true nature? Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witnesses put it, was included in their investigation. The compartment under the posterior seat was full of the coachman's belongings. We did notice that this was different. It's noted in black and white here in the police report. Good Lord. The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGilded's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat. What? Order, order! How could such a devious contrivance possibly have been effective, counsel? Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment under the seat was not empty. This is true. Well, my Nipponese friend? Huh? Me? When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail, as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, what did you find the condition of the underseat compartment to be? Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman will be able to clear this up in a jiffy. Sorry? Go ahead. You tell the court now, fellow. How this is all an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Van Zykes. But it's not. I'm going to tell the truth. Well, counsel, do you have something to say on this matter? How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of the little compartment under the seat in the omnibus? It wasn't empty. I really don't know if giving this answer is helping my case as counsel for the defense. No, I don't think it is, but it's the truth and we need to say the truth. But as far as I remember, at least, when I first examined the compartment, I'm fairly certain there were a number of articles inside it, yes. Are you sure, counsel? Ara bewits. What does that mean? What are you saying now, you daft doll? I thought you were on my side here. I am on your side, but you may actually be guilty. You were awfully calm, too. But you needed someone just to stand there. What game are you playing? You're talking to McGilded, right? Not me, because I'm gonna tell the truth. That's what I do. Your task is to defend the man in the stand. Why would you say something to compromise his position? I'm gonna defend him with the truth. As the advocate for the defense in this trial, I confess I'm still not entirely sure where I stand, but it seems to me that I should state what facts I do know as clearly and honestly as possible. Interesting. 'Tis not altogether pleasing, fellow. I'm simply telling the truth, Mr. McGilded. Well, don't forget that you're supposed to be representing my best interests here, lad. Now then. A fellow's memory is a curious thing, and not altogether reliable, though the courtroom must consider the facts. That there cubbyhole under the seat is as empty as the devil's heart, so it is. You think perhaps it would be in your best interest now to admit that you might have been mistaken? No. Why? Why do I feel like something's not right here? Because it's not. Should like the jury to weigh in on this matter, I think. That compartment is designed to house equipment used to maintain the smooth running of the carriage. The Guild's rules state that the omnibus should be properly and fully equipped at all times. So it certainly wouldn't have been empty on the night in question. Beppo isn't that irresponsible. That money-lending fleecer and the pick purse are lying. Yeah, they are. Ah! Can't believe I was nearly taken in. The stinking rich are always stinkers. Nothing but cowards. A lot of them. What? Oh no. It's a trick, of course. It's a trick. Quite so. I must concur here. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Yes, but every time a different truth, it seems. My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly, a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate. Thank you, counsel. But before we proceed any further, there is the matter of the outstanding cross-examination. Let's do it. Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please. Yes, my lord. What just happened? The whole balance of the trial just shifted almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work, it would seem. Cross-examination. What the girls saw. So I snuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses just like always. Alright, we're going to press that.
Hold it!
So you were already in the omnibus before it even set off on its run. Well, yeah, I mean, what's the point of spending a joey to make a few bob, eh? That's a rum idea, isn't it? Look at this smug guy. Alright. I suppose she means there's no point in spending money to make money. It actually makes sense. Counsel, may I remind you that this girl is a petty thief? Kindly refrain from entertaining her tenants. Well, that does clear up the little mystery of the fares and all. 4 paying passengers at 5 pence apiece, making the 20 to which the cabman testified. And 1 little scapegrace riding for free. The red conch of a driver always goes for some grub before its last run, see? So that's when I slip in the carriage and get myself hidden under the seat, nice and easy, right? But your hiding place is a storage compartment. Full of oh, I'm reading it in the wrong accent. Full of equipment for the coach, no? Yeah, there's brushes and buckets and whatnot in there, sure. Always chuck all that out and cram into a corner somewhere. No one ever seems to bother much. And yet, according to the report filed by the police officer who first arrived at the scene, the compartment was full of such paraphernalia. Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I moved all that stuff out so I could hide under the seat. That's all I can tell you. Seems we reached the end of that line of inquiry. inquiry spelt wrong there? Continue. But it was a right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night.
Hold it!
A waste of time? Why is that? Well, most nights I'm on my own in the God permit, at least some of the time. Hold on, let me read this again. This sentence doesn't seem right to me. Well, most nights I'm on me own in the God permit, at least some of the time. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I beg your pardon? Did you say God permit? Oh yeah, well that's what my con call it. You'd say the omnibus, I suppose. The God permit. The point is, any normal run, the carriage ain't got no one in it for a while. And that's when you come out of your hiding place and get away? That's it. Only that night, this cove was set on top of me seat from the start. And he didn't budge the whole way, did he? Not 1 inch. I was totally stuck. Do you mean to tell us that you were present in the carriage for the duration? You were under the seat the entire time while events unfolded in the enclosed cabin. Yeah. What is it with this game and people like crammed in wardrobes and cubby holes and stuff while murders are taking place? Right, mister? You two seem to have like a story you're working on together. To be sure. I was as shocked as anyone. You don't expect to lift the cushion you've been set on and find a child now, do you? So this Miss Lestrade couldn't possibly be the culprit then. She couldn't be the culprit if these two were telling the truth. I'll tell you, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Okay, so if you can't see anything in that hiding place, what caused you to scream?
Hold it!
Let's press her and see. So you couldn't see out into the cabin at all? Not a jot. Most days I push the cushion up with me head and look out the crack. Then I can have a butcher's at who I'm going to fiddle. You need to watch, your phrasing here. This is a family show. I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher. I mean, I can have a look. The seat I get under it ain't as plush as the other one, see? So most of the time, the passengers plant themselves opposite. Oh. But he said that he was sitting in the most comfortable seat. But this one isn't as plush because there's a box under it. But for some reason that night, this here Irishman spent the whole journey right over my head. And for that reason, you weren't able to push the cushion up to peek out, I see. Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places. Feels too much like being thrown in the clink. But it's the only place to hide in them carriages, so it's Hobson's choice? Why does it just stick to picking people's pockets in the open then? I'd say there's some reason that she's not letting on, judging from her demeanor. So anyways, I was a bit scared, but I had to stick it out under there, nothing else for it. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out of me skin, I did, and the scream just came out. Okay, so she's not saying she saw the victim. She heard a bang. So she heard the man fall, presumably? All right, let's press it.
Hold it!
When you say a loud bang, do you mean the noise of someone falling to the floor? Could have been, I suppose. I don't remember so well. Point is, it made me jump. And you let out a scream involuntarily. That's right. And then I felt the cushion over my head get lighter, and all of a sudden, presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim, yes. Or not. It could equally have been the moment the accused stood in order to stab his victim, could it not? No, because she heard the bang and then felt the cushion lift up. Well, girl, did you see what happened at that crucial moment? Yeah, I saw it. How? If you heard the bang, that means the man had already fallen to the floor. I pushed up the cushion and had a quick butcher's while I had the chance, didn't I? The Irishman was setting up the bloke but had fallen on the floor on the seat opposite. That matches Mr. McGilda's account, of course, but then the fella suddenly turns around and looks right at me. I sunk back down again, but it was too late by then. I should have never had risked looking. It's because of that this swill found me. He did help me get away, mind.
Hold it!
And when Mr. McGilda discovered you, he pulled you out from your hiding place. I was scared stiff, I was. He dragged me out and set me down on the seat and all. Next to the victim, Mr. Mason? Yeah, the bloke got a knife in his guts. He was still bleeding. Then the carriage lurched a bit, and he ended up falling onto me. Ugh, how awful. Both me hands got covered in blood. It made me feel sick as a dog. Both her hands covered in blood. That must be what the rooftop passengers saw. After that, I believe you talked with Mr. McGilda for a while. Is that correct? He asked me some stuff. Wanted to know me name and what I was up to and that. Then I heard something from above. Someone screamed. Yes, Mr. First on the roof deck, one would presume. Well, I didn't want no one seeing my face, so I didn't look up. Then the horses were drawn up smartish, and this here Irishman says to me, "Get back under the seat, I'll see that you can get away later." All 6 members of the jury had decided the defendant was innocent. For one brief shining moment, yes. It's clear that they are all still very unsure. If we could just find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony, I'm sure we could clinch the verdict we want. Yes, I think you're right. And I have this niggling feeling, don't say that, something's bothering me, but I just can't quite put my finger on it. So I snuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses like always. But it was right old waste of time. I got nothing to show me troubles for that night. I tell you, I can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang, nearly jumped out of me skin, and the scream just came out. It's because of that this swill found me and did help me get away. Woof. All right. She says she snuck inside before they hooked up the horses. I believe that. It's a waste of time. She's got nothing to show for her troubles that night. I don't know if I believe that. Can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. I would think it would be dark in there. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang, nearly jumped out of my skin, I did, and the scream just came out. Because of that, this swill found me. He did help me get away, mind. Swell found me, not swill. Man, I don't know what to go with on this. Let's check the history. Find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony. Alright, this is her talking. She didn't look up. Get back under the seat. I'll see that you can get away later. But there was stuff under the carriage seat when the carriage was brought in. So if she was under the seat, that stuff couldn't have been there. She said she threw it out. So that means the carriage that first entered the courtroom was not correct? I don't know her name. Both her hands covered in blood. The guy fell onto her. Scared stiff, he dragged me and sat me down on a seat. All right, we're going to continue looking over this next episode and see what evidence we can find to try to clinch this case. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, please consider a like, a comment, and or a subscribe. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.